Rocco, you guys had some base runners, I think 6 walks. But what did you think of, I guess, once you guys had some opportunity to score, the swings from that point forward once you had some guys on base?
Yeah, I mean, man, we had plenty of opportunity. We really did. There was a theme in those at-bats. I mean, I think we expanded a little bit in those at-bats. We'd get in a good spot. Again, right where you want to be to make something happen. We didn't make it happen when the time came. Javier kind of buckled down and seemed like, focused and got his pitches more where he wanted them when he was forced to. And before that, less so. And we were able to find ways on. We did things that we've done much of the year. We found ways to walk. We found ways to get on base. You find a way to get a hit in a spot or two. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to go in the seats. You just find a way to drive a few of those runs home, and then you're right in the ball game at that point. But there was a spread there where we just had a tough time getting close enough to make it. It's always a ball game, but we had a tough time getting it close.
Go over down the right to Jeff.
Rocco, what is it that makes Christian Javier so difficult to hit?
Well, we don't see him very often, so he's not a guy that I have a ton of experience watching throw. Obviously, he's a guy that can get his fastball to places that not every pitcher can get to, and I think when he starts using his fastball, which he always does, you start to adjust to the fastball or try to adjust to the fastball, and that's when his breaking, his slider ends up a weapon. His slider's a weapon because of his fastball. That's kind of the way that it looks as you watch him pitch. And we had a tough time getting on top of the fastball when we had chances to do so, and holding up at the break ball. So, I mean, it was one of those days. We discussed this pregame. The Astros did a good job of jumping out there early and finding ways to score some runs. And we were probably we're a ground ball away from being out of that inning or being very close to being out of that inning. A play that we're going to make almost every time, and we didn't make it today, and it ended up leading to those runs being on the board. Overall, it was a difficult day to hit. So them jumping out early was very, very important, and whichever team did that was going to definitely be in the driver's seat because the game times that we have right now and our ballpark make it very difficult to see the ball and to put a lot of good swings on the ball in a row.
Anything else for Rocco? Jerome? On the right?
On Yordan Alvarez, I mean, is it at the point where you guys have to have a different approach or not pitch to him, or do you even believe in such a point?
Well, there can be a point. I think we've seen this with certain guys. I say this sometimes, but I won't go long on the subject of talking about another player playing really well. He's an excellent hitter. We can all see that. We live it out there when we have to go out there and face him. There are times where I think it's very, very much the right play to go out there and pitch to him, and there are other times where it might not be. It's going to depend on the game. It's going to depend on how everything plays out. I thought we actually pitched him fine for much of the game today. He lofted that home run, out there to right field. He finds different ways to find the barrel and make things happen. But he was also the guy, I believe, that hit the ground ball that ended up getting through. And again, I thought we pitched him fine today. He still finds ways to be productive, but I thought we were okay.
Come over on the left, Phil, one more.
Rocco, after how he pitched last week and how worked up he was to pitch well today, how surprised were you by Sonny's difficulties getting through his inning?
Well, we've seen Sonny have so many good starts this year. He's pitched better than he threw today, of course. We've seen it so many times. But again, you start looking at what his game looks like if you just, if we make the plays that we should make behind him, he's not sitting there giving up. How many runs did he give up? I'm not even sure. 5. If we're sitting here and he gave up 1 or 2, which very, very easily could have been the case if we just make the plays. We're not sitting here saying, we're sitting here saying, Sonny gave us a good start. That's what we're sitting here saying. He always competes very well. The intensity was there today, which matters with him. It's not just something that's kind of a side note. It's his ability to focus that makes him special. And, he's pitched us. He was one of the guys that have pitched us to this point in the season. And so we're going to let him pitch us to wherever we're going next. So I have no issue leaving the ball in his hands for a little while and letting him go. But again, if we play crisp baseball, we're sitting here and he's probably only given up a run or 2.
Sonny, it was right from the start. What was that first inning like for you?
Thought I made some, in all honesty, with the exception of spinning that one breaking ball for the homer to Abreu. Other than that, over the course of the first inning, I thought I made quality pitches. I think I missed. In all honesty, I thought that after looking back and even in the moment and evaluating before going out for the second, I thought I made quality pitch after quality pitch. It just so happened that with first and second and 1 out, something that I have been able to limit for pretty much the whole year, ended up just biting me there in the first. I got to a 2-1 count, and I just kind of spun a breaking ball, and it just stayed in the middle and hit a 3-run homer, and then it kind of, that was kind of it for that inning. I thought Altuve, He put a good swing on a pitch that was an executed pitch off the plate. Got a single. Get the next guy, and then now you're sitting at second and third with 1 out, with the infield in. The pitch that I made to Tucker was probably the most executed changeup that I have thrown in a very long time. He hits it hard, hits a ground ball the other way, and then the next batter is the one who really cashed it in for us, and it was I think it was a 2-1 count, threw him 3 fastballs, wanted to get a slider down and away, and it kind of spun in the middle, and he hit a homer, and before you know it, it was 4-0, and I and that was a big part of the game. They came out hot, and they came out with a big hit in the first, and it really kind of the crowd did what they could. They did a great job of trying to get us back in it, but they came out and just kind of shut it down for us pretty early, and then we were fighting an uphill battle from there.
Anything else for Sonny? Go, Aaron.
You mentioned spinning I think it was a sweeper, but did you feel like it was lack of execution on that pitch, or just in general that pitch throughout?
It wasn't great today. It was just kind of slower. All in all, though, in all honesty, that in the first inning, in a 2-1 count, I was trying to execute a strike breaking ball. Went 3 fastballs, got to a 2-1 count. I just was a strike breaking ball. I just was, looking to throw a strike breaking ball, and I threw it, and it just kind of spun there. And he homered it. I don't think I was great with 2 strikes. I think at times I was, but I think actually I know not retiring a leadoff hitter for the entire time I was out there is something that we were fighting an uphill battle as a team. I was fighting an uphill battle every inning. And a lot of the times it was you'd get to 2 strikes with the leadoff hitter or whatnot, and then you'd spin something or you'd throw a or whatever happened, and then they ended up hitting a single or getting on base or whatnot. So then I'm fighting an uphill battle from inning to inning. but it just kind of started with obviously it just started in the first the big swing that they had early. We had some chances there to get back in it. Their guy did what I didn't do. He executed pitches in spots with runners on, and I was able to do it after the first, but I just didn't do it for in the first, and that was pretty much the difference in the game. He executed when we had runners on, runners in scoring position, less than 2 outs, and I didn't.
Go one more on left with Phil.
Sonny, they showed you on the bench a few times, kind of staring straight ahead, and the way you pitched last week, the way you've pitched for a month and a half now, were you shocked by by what happened this afternoon?
I felt really good going into it. I felt calm, collected, confident. Even after the first, I was trying to do the best that I could to move on from it. Just move on from it. Continue to just make the same pitches and execute the same pitches that I felt like I was early. But yeah, I knew giving up a 4 spot in the first is not great. It's not something that you're looking to do. But I felt like after that I was able to, for the most part, move on from it, and then I was just, it was after that it was like put up a 0, put up a 0, put up a 0, put up a 0, and I think for 3 innings I did, and then Bregman hits pretty much the same pitch that Abreu hit in the first. He hits the very, very similar pitch for a homer. Jordan came up after that, and I got him to an 0-2 count, wanted to bounce a breaking ball, and I that one I was a little like tip your cap to him on that one. And then you walk Tucker, and then you're out. Emilio comes in and really gives us a chance to stay in the game right there by retiring the next 3. And then it just they added on there at the end, and we didn't.